I had a case that I was going through, and it got to a point where, basically, long story short, I ended up taking a plea deal right before going to trial, and I was supposed to go do 30 days in jail. I didn't do that. What I did is do a notice to the people of the state of California and any interested parties, and basically I used your format. And I said at one point in time, I, a man, believe that I had somehow done wrong. I had become more aware as I've realized that the plaintiff never appeared in this case, and no man testified in open court under oath or affirmation that I injured, harmed another man. There's no record of this case in existence. It's also in a file. No man ever spoken into an open forum. And then I said, furthermore, do you believe I am you? And Zhang, who sometimes acts as a deputy clerk, believes I am you because they issued warrants. So I said, if any man wants to come forward and order me to live up to any agreements, I'm happy to entertain any and all claims. It is my wish that any order or warrant against my person be discharged, dismissed, and or cleared, and that any probation be revoked/terminated at this time of awareness. I require a prompt reply, as I believe you wish to move your claim against my person in an open court. Any man who executes an unlawful order and burdens me with that order will be held liable. See attached fee schedule. Then I verified it and signed it. Sent that in. Now,
okay, the first five lines are okay. Get rid of the next two, and the next seven were fine.
Okay, what part wasn't good?
Where you started to play with the you crap.
Okay.
Other than that, was fine because that's a separate train of thought. You're running a good line, and then all of a sudden you went off rails a little bit. Then you came back on the rails. You went off a little bit.
Okay.
But other than that, it was fine. You 5, 2, 7. You did fine. I mean, it's a little wordy, but it's fine, man. You got it. Man, it's like, are you sure you're from Southern California? Because almost everybody's from Southern California, like total potheads, man. You were concise. It was pretty damn good.
Well, thank you. I mean, I've been studying and learning for a little bit now and trying to implement and see what's been working. Now, what I can say about this is because I had police contact about 2 weeks ago out here in L.A., I was pulled over in my car. I had transferred the title out of my name into a friend's name, basically, and that had been about 3-4 months ago. For whatever reason, the DMV hasn't done that, and they ran the VIN number on the car, started asking me about this, the person, blah, blah, blah. I just remained silent, and they basically ended up looking up my name, and they said, you fit this description. And, again, I just remained silent. And they found these multiple warrants in these different counties in California, do not cite and release, mandatory appearance required, and they cite released me. They did tow my car, however, and I'm in the process of trying to get that back right now, but they didn't arrest me, the man, for these warrants. So I feel like something was going on there. I have a girl I grew up with who is a police officer now, and I called her and asked her, is there any notes in there or anything? Because I don't know why this is happening. She thinks it's just because it was non-extraditable warrant.
Okay, it might have been because it was a misdemeanor, not felonies?
This is all misdemeanor stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, that's what they would say. It was basically non-extraditable. See, because when I got busted for moonshine, it was considered a federal felony. So they said that anywhere within the state of North Carolina, I could be brought back in because it was originally classified as a felony. It was a misdemeanor, which the judge reduced it to. He says, any place you travel in the United States, you'll not be extradited for misdemeanor. But in North Carolina, you could be. But felonies, you will be. You know what I'm saying? You definitely will be. So if this is all misdemeanor, they just say, it's not extraditable. So that makes sense.
Okay, now what about...
she's probably telling you the truth, yeah. I'm sure she's telling you straight up, yeah, if it's a misdemeanor, they're not going to waste that time. You know how much cost it waste, the transport from point A to point B?
Yeah, no, I think you're right, too. My only question is what do I do about this? The car's getting taken all the time, and, what if they do end up, taking me eventually? I mean, I have this itemized statement, and I have this letter that I just read you that I've sent in via mail, and it's into the court record now. So I mean, they have this itemized statement, and they haven't responded to my letter. So, your thoughts?
So what you could do is you say that you want them to expunge the record. Are you telling them that you want them to expunge the record because the record was made in error? Is that what you're asking them to do, to clear the record, to get rid of it, to make it go away?
Well, you know what? Another thing I've done too, I was going to ask you about is I've resigned as the agent for the agency. That's another thing you probably are. Some of you don't agree with. I know.
I don't play that. I don't play that.
Yeah.
I don't play that game.
Yeah.
Before you say that, who's the one who promotes that?
That guy Ken W.
Yeah, I don't know who he is. Sorry about that. But yeah, I've heard of that kind of nonsense, but I don't play that nonsense. I'm just a man. All I know is I'm a man. Is there another man who's making a claim I've done wrong? That's all I want to know. Anything else I don't even acknowledge exists. Because, like I said, anything else that exists is still 24 hours, 7 days a week, a man. And I'm going to hold him liable if he moves a claim and anything other than the fact that he could prove by firsthand knowledge and he witnessed me doing him wrong. Other than that, I'm going to hold him liable. I don't care what badge he's wearing. I don't care what color he's under.
So what if they just start arresting us and they're taking us to jail? Because going to court is fine.
Well, this ain't Germany. This ain't Germany yet. You mean if they start arresting you?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, not us.
People that are doing these sort of things that end up having warrants out, that are dealing with the name and the birth certificate and all this jazz that we know is surrounding this.
Yeah, they do grab all you people who do that crazy stuff. You know, and like I said, they don't go after people like me because I make them laugh their behinds off. They think it's really funny what I write. See, because like I said, that's all you have to do is just make them laugh. They say, you get the trick. You see the sleight of hand. You see the misdirection. You see the 10, 20 little simple words we use to control and manipulate you people, and you're throwing it right back at us. And so you like one of us. You see the joke. You get the joke. See, but when you put all this patriot nonsense in there, they go, oh, man, here we go. This guy's
Well, I don't play that. I don't ever pull that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to see what's been working. I'm just throwing everything against the wall and seeing what's hit.
You did fine. Right, like I said, you did fine up until you started playing that U game. And, I mean, I do the U game, but in a separate manner. I don't put it in the same context the way that you did it. You know, you've mixed, like, two different things. And, you know, you put, like, you're making cookies and you put cement in it. It's like, no, you're doing good, man. You're making a nice batch of cookies. Then why'd you throw a little cement in it? That doesn't make any sense. You want to do that? When you pull the U game, you do that in a separate letter. You do that in a separate notice. Like you see, like I said, when people said my case was dismissed in Alabama, and I said, oh, you think it's dismissed? What do you think that means? You think it's over? Yeah, good. You want me to see you putting me about another 10, 20, 30 documents into that case? It's my case. I'll let you know when it's over. It's dismissed. Fine, they dismiss it. You can't dismiss my case. It's my case. I'll keep doing. But what I'm trying to say is you give them notice of this, and then you give them notice of that. If you want to say that you were interpreting me as a you were believing I was a person and a man. But at all times, I just stood in the capacity in court as a man, not as a person, which would make you a you. You'd make it the man and the person, and a man is a person who owes a duty and an obligation to a society in which he's held a title or has been ascribed a certain role. Now, you're a man, and you could be a person, but at all times you're a man. You know what a person means, correct?
Yes, correct. That's a legal fiction.
No. A person is a man who holds an obligation or duty to a society in which he ascribed. So if you're saying that I will be a licensed driver, you write your name on a document, you are now a person within that society, within that driving license authority or agency. You bound yourself into the second dimension. You are now a person, but a person is a man. Okay?
Okay, so my problem though is like they'll pull me over. I've tried to discharge the license. I don't have the license, but they're identifying me with this person, so they're taking my property.
Right, they're identifying you as the person on that driver's license. So when they do that, they're just going to do it. You just know it. It's just going to be a natural instinct for them to say, you're the person. This is the car. We're taking the car. You're just going to make the claim for your property, the restoration of your property.
So how do I do that?
Just say you have my property, and I claim a vested interest in that car. Like I said to a cop one time on the witness stand, that white Camaro you pulled over, did you help me build that car? No. Did you put any money into that car? No. Did you loan me that car? No. Do you have any vested interest in that car? He's like, no. So do you think you could tell me what color I could paint it? No. Do you think you could tell me what kind of engine I could put in it? No. Do you think you could tell me how fast I could drive it? No. There you go. Is there anybody who's going to come to this courtroom today that could tell me how fast I can and cannot drive my property, my car? Is there anybody who's going to come to this courtroom today that could tell me how fast I can and cannot drive?
So if they hand you this notice of stored vehicle, then the one to go to address it would be the tow yard, or would it be?
It'd be the man who the man who thought that he had the cojones to touch my property.
Yeah, so that's
who's the man who called up that tow? Who's the man who calls the tow truck to touch my car? Like if some man calls up a tow truck company right now and hooks up one of my cars from my property and drives it off, what do you think? I'm going to sue the tow truck driver? No, I'm going to sue the guy who called up the tow truck driver to touch my property.
So that would be the officer then.
I don't know who touched it. If you're saying there was a man named Joe Officer, yeah, sue Joe Officer. That's a funny name. You mean Bob? You mean a man named Bob, who for 8 hours one day decided to be an officer? You're suing the man. You're suing.
I don't have. Yeah, but there's no man on here.
You're suing
the tow company and that it was impounded. That's it.
Okay, and who called up the tow company?
I don't know. How am I supposed to?
Why don't you call the tow company? Say, hey, who called you? Who told you to come and take my car?
And they're going to say,
what do you think they're going to tell you? We have no effing idea? Or do you think they're going to give you kind of an idea who told you to come and do it?
They're going to say LAPD.
Good. So you're going to sue Mr. or Mrs. LAPD. An idea who told you to come and do it. They're going to say LAPD. Good. So you're going to sue Mr. or Mrs.
I thought it had to be a man.
That's right. Because they're telling you LAPD. You're presuming LAPD is not a man or a woman. That's right. See, you would say that somebody like me, like Carl, you're being silly. No, because you said that the tow truck company said LAPD called them. LAPD needs vocal cords to operate a telephone, needs fingers to push the dial, okay? So what's going to happen is when you sue LAPD, okay, when you put it LAPD, say, hey, where's the LAPD attorney for the LAPD? The LAPD say LAPD did not call. You say, oh, LAPD did not call? Then who called? You see what I'm saying? You're going to have to try to find the man or the woman who actually did the phone call. If they just
usually
said
the person that made the citation, did you get a ticket?
Yeah, I got a ticket.
Okay, at the time you got the ticket, that officer who wrote that ticket is most likely the one that called the tow truck. So you got his name right there.
Right. Well, like I said,
I have his badge number and his last name. I mean, officer.
Okay. You guess again. What I'm trying to say, sir, if you got any kind of a name, again, you're just presuming it's a first name, it's a last name. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. You just sue. If the tow truck company says LAPD called, okay, you're just going to make a suit and say, okay, LAPD. You're going to call up LAPD. You're going to look in the phone book and say, oh, there's LAPD. Hey, LAPD, you got a legal department. Yeah, I got a legal department. Okay. And then you send a notice to the legal department for LAPD. Say, LAPD made a phone call to Tom's tow truck company. He towed my car. Tom's tow truck company called my car. I want LAPD to compensate me for towing my car. You know LAPD is going to have a legal department.
Yeah.
Let them worry about who called up Tom's towing. Why should you worry?
Okay. All right. Well, that's something I haven't tried yet, so
that's what I do.
Do that.
Right. I
haven't tried to get hold of these legal departments yet, so that's something I haven't.
Yeah. You know and I know every single cop. You know and I know every single government agency, a government entity has a legal department. You say, okay, LA was the Los Angeles Police Department legal department, just like I did. Like, say I had a problem with my internet today. I said, where's your legal department? And they said, it's in Germantown, Maryland. I said, oh, great, lovely. I said, you got their phone number? They said, yeah, and they gave me their phone number for the legal department. What do you think, I'm going to talk to a customer service kid? I'm not going to waste my time talking to a customer service kid. I want to talk to the legal department.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to talk to anybody in LAPD other than the legal department? You know they have a legal department. You know they're the ones that are going to answer any claim. You know if Officer Bob...
That's a good point. That's something that we don't really talk about. I like that.
If Officer Bob if Officer Bob if you sue Officer Bob, he's going to automatically turn it right over to his legal department. He said, the legal department, what do I do with this? And the legal department will advise him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why they got risk management, and that's why risk management sets up legal defenses and pays cops and government agencies and government agents their legal fees.
Okay, got you. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Just go right to the legal department. So, you're right. So like I said, that's the safe. If you don't know the officer's name, it's like, look, I don't know the officer's name, but LAPD took it? Yeah, great. You know what? LAPD's got a fucking legal department. I'm going to send it right over to the legal department. I'm not even going to waste my time. And they'll decipher. They'll figure out who touched that man's car.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because we got a hell of a funny guy in Mark in Atlanta. He finally sent off the letter. It took him a long time. He got pot taken from him, from a cop, a man who was wearing a, uniform as a cop out of his car. So Mark finally put the letter to the chief of police down there in the Atlanta area where he lives, to the cop, whatever the cop's name is, Ivan or something like it's a Polish name or something like that, and to the legal department that he wants his property. He wants the immediate restoration of his property. So it's funny because this is a great case because the most he could get for the crime of having that much pot was like $50 fine and 1 hour in jail. So what a hell of a case to make the claim for getting your pot back, because he's not looking at 20 years in jail. He's not looking at a $20,000 fine if he claims that's his pot. The most he could get if he claims it's his pot is like a $50 fine and 1 hour in jail.
Yeah.
If he claims that's it. So what a case, because if he gets his property restored, the restoration of his property of one little joint, if he gets his one little joint back, what's the difference of them not giving him back 1 joint or 1 kilo or 1 megaton of pot? Like 1 piece of pot is the same as 1 million pieces of pot. So if he could win his case and show that 1 joint has to be turned back over because that's his property, billions of joints got to be turned back if a man makes a claim for billions of joints to be turned back to him. And he could use Mark's case. He's like, what's the difference? One joint, 2 joints, 100 joints? It's that man's property. Why'd you give the man that back that 1 joint? Well, it was his property. We had to give it back. There you go. I said, yeah, Mark, get your joint back in pot, man, and fucking fire it up in open court.
That's awesome. I love that. So, just real quick, Karl, so when do you pull the U game then? Because you were saying I didn't do it correctly in the paperwork. I didn't execute it the right way. When do you use that correctly?
Like I said, the U game is the only time I use U game is when they're originally sending me some documents that say, I see that in this letter that you sent to me, IRS, you refer to me as you. Do you mean thee, thou, or thy? Do you mean me in a singular sense or me in a plural? Do you believe that there's jointed between I, a man, and I and my person? And do you believe I'm bound by some sort of contract or rules or terms of obligations in which I subscribed? You see what I'm saying? In that kind of a context, when somebody's saying that I believe you owe me money, who, me and my person, or just me, the man? Who do you believe owes the money? The man who's going to testify in open court or the person? Which one do you believe owes you the debt? Who's going to testify in open court or the person?
Okay.
Which one do you believe owes you the debt?
And that's what you asked too. Do you believe I owe a debt? Do you believe it is true? And do you believe it is due or posted?
Well, the reason why I asked the you to them is I'm getting joined between them as a man and them in their official capacity under color of law, because you can't sue them under color of law. You can't sue the prosecuting attorney. You can't sue a judge. You can't sue a court clerk. But you can sue Susie, who acts as a court clerk. You can sue Bob, who acts as a judge. You can sue Joe, who acts as a cop. But you can't sue cop, Joe, judge, or clerk. But when you say, do you believe I owe a debt? So when I was saying that to the state prosecutor, do you believe I owe a debt? Is state prosecutor Bob and the state prosecutor uniform that you're wearing, the costume that you're wearing at this time. Not only does the state prosecutor believe it, but Bob, do you also believe it as well? So Bob's going to have to take the witness stand. That's why the judge laughed, because Bob's going to have to come out of that costume and take the stand and perform.
Okay, so let me give you an example. Here's a scenario. So let's say I'm in this county, even though they're just misdemeanor warrants. I get pulled over for whatever reason. They identify me with this person. They take me in on the warrants, and then I go before the judge. That would be the time to pull the U game then, most likely, right?
No, because like I said, the big thing is you want to find out who issued the warrants. Because
that kind of stuff is hard to find out. They just put like initials, like M. Vang, you know. So you have like kind of a last name, you kind of an initial for a first name, but you know, it's hard to really pinpoint.
The magistrate. Okay, somebody had to issue the warrant, right? And then the magistrate just stamps it to be executed, and then the sheriff's department issues it to hands it off to the deputies to go carry out the warrant. So the
I'm looking at one of them right now.
But the magistrate there should be some sort of like a seal from the magistrate.
There's a seal from the Superior Court of California from the county.
Okay, but who was then I guess like I said, because when that other lady got arrested the other day, she thinks she's on Angela's call right now. I don't know if she's still on it or not. Let me see if she's on there, Lady Fairfax. If she's on there still, and she'll tell you exactly what happened when I told her to go down there and find who issued the warrant. She hung up. Yeah, she was just on the computer. But I told her to go down there and find out who issued the warrant on her. And she said the officer issued the warrant, and the magistrate granted him the warrant to have it go executed. So then the officer who was investigating the domestic violence he issued the warrant, and he wished for the magistrate to have it delivered upon the sheriff's department so the sheriff's department could go out there and execute the warrant. So obviously she was like, well, who issued this warrant? The magistrate? And I'm going to go sue the magistrate for issuing this warrant. It's like, no, the magistrate didn't issue the warrant. The magistrate just granted the issuer the warrant to be recognized as true. And then she's just going to pass it off to the sheriff's department, like 8 o'clock in the morning. The deputies all line up at the courthouse to get warrants that they have to go issue that day. That the warrants have to go execute that day. Sorry for that. Execute, it's different. So you can't hold the deputy liable who's just executing the warrant. You don't hold the magistrate liable for stamping the warrant. You hold the issuer of the warrant liable. Like I said, I could issue a warrant for your arrest to have you be brought into a court on the 22nd day after you failed to answer my civil claim against you. You have one more chance because I don't want a default judgment, and I certainly don't want a summary judgment against you. I want a judgment that reads that you had the opportunity to answer, you were there, you were competent, you had the ability to say something, and you chose to stand mute, and you had the chance to defend yourself, put up your dukes and fight, and you chose not to, and I'm going to win. Because if you get a default judgment or a judgment, a summary judgment, they could always be overturned. They could always be considered void judgments because nobody ever spoke in open court. No, I didn't press the record, and you didn't come to court to explain why you didn't appear. You could have been in a coma. You could have been on the other side of the world. You could have been marooned on a desert island. There's many reasons why you didn't appear in court that day. So if I could issue a warrant for you to be dragged into court, I'm going to issue the warrant for you to be dragged into court. Now,
well, this is even better, Carl, because this is better because they're saying that, no, you were supposed to go do jail time. You're supposed to go sit in jail for 30 days. That's what the court is trying to say. So that's what the violation is. Oh, you didn't comply with the court order.
That's because you believed you did wrong and you confessed. You convicted yourself, right?
Basically.
Okay, a conviction. Okay. When you believe in Jesus is going to come back, you have a conviction, right? You have a belief. See, a conviction means you have a belief. So whenever you hear whenever you hear judges or lawyers making jokes, they say 99% of the people in jail convicted themselves.
Yeah,
that's right. They had a belief that they did wrong. They didn't know how to say, wait a second, where's the man that I done wrong? they believed that some violation of a code was wrong. No, it's an infraction of a code. It's not a wrong. A wrong is wanton, deliberate intent to hurt or harm or injure another man. Smoking pot in your car on the side of the road is not wrong. You believe it's wrong because when you see a cop, you put the joint out, you roll the windows down, you try to get it all the air out, because you think you're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So by your actions, you're showing that you believe you've done something wrong. Because your whole world or the whole society has been led to believe that smoking a joint is wrong. To me, I say, how is it wrong? If you're causing anybody injury, harm, or loss, then it's wrong. But why don't you people just parade right down Main Street smoking? What the hell is you people's problem? Why are you people hiding it? And it's like, oh, here comes a cop, put that out.